In this video, we will start to model our little robot. So here we have into the source files, you will find here the blueprint. So here we have the reference image, and this is Jimmy, the little robot. So we will model this little robot and piece by piece. So what we will do, we will insert this image into Blender. So I guess this tutorial will take more time than others, so maybe it will be at least in 4 parts to model everything. We will see how much time it will take to make everything. So first of all, let's select everything here and remove everything with X. Then we will come back into our source file reference here, and we will just click and drag the image inside. Good. So once you have it inside, you just have to make an Alt-R to remove all the rotations and Alt-G to be sure to have everything in the center. Good. So now let's go in front view with 1 and 5, okay, to have an orthographic view, and make a rotation of this object on the x-axis 90 degrees. Like this, we have our image in front of us. So first of all, for this image, I would like to, here into the image here options, I would like just to enable the alpha and the transparency, and to put the alpha at 0.5 like this. Like this, I'm sure that I can still see the grid of Blender behind the image. Then we will manage the offset X. And if you want to be precise, you can use the Shift key to make something more precise. So to have our robot in front view really in the middle. So to be sure that it's in the middle, you can use this piece of the robot as a reference guide here, okay? So here we have our image well in place, and we would like the feet of the robot on the ground. So our ground is here, so we will use the Y value 2 just to put the feet like this. Okay, good. So in front view now we have what we want, but we would like to have this image a little far from our modeling. Like this, it will not disturb us, so we will make a GY like this. Okay, good. And like this, it will be far enough, and when I will turn around my object like that, I can focus on my object without having this reference image into my interface. But when I come back into front view, I'm sure that I will have my objects there. Good. So let's duplicate this object with Shift D, and with Alt-G we will put it back here right in the center. Now we will make RZ 90 degrees, okay, on that side, and we will go into side view. We will make a GX, a big one too. Like this, we are sure that it's far. And into the side view, we will just manage here the offset X. Like this, we can just put our robot well in place. We have 3 little dots here, and you can use this as a reference guide to put your z-axis there, okay? And now you have the robot well in place. So when we are in front, we have the robot in front, and when we are inside view, we have the robot inside view. Good. So we will use these 2 reference images like this, and we will just maybe put it a little back. Yeah, something like that. We will just enable here the options to select here our object or not, and render here our object or not. And like that, we are sure that we cannot select these objects at all. So this collection, we will rename it as reference. And what is good with this is that now we have these references. If it disturbs us during the process of modeling, we can just hide it, okay? And we can just tell that whatever we do, we cannot select it. So it's locked here, and it will not disturb us by mistake. Good. So now let's create a new collection. And this collection will be enabled by default, so select it here, and it will be our little robot. Nice. So let's continue now, and let's go in front view and add our first object. Our first object with Shift A, we will add a UV sphere like this. We will keep the option as it is here, and we will go into Edit View directly to keep the origin point in the center. Okay, and we will make a GZ like that. We will go into transparent view if necessary like this, and make S just to match the shape, the global shape of the head, of the top of the head here. Okay, so until you have the right size, something like this seems good for me. And now you will just can select here the little dot there, and with Ctrl plus select what you want to remove. I want to remove everything until this, so I remove the vertices here. Nice. And here I can just now manage the last here loops that we have. So I will just scale it down a little, this one, then scale down a little, that one too. Okay, maybe a little GZ to have a little more definition into our curve, and then I will make a GZ for that one too, and a S. Okay, something like this. Then an EZ and S. Then an EZ again and S. Until we have something good in the end. And easy, last one, and S. Okay, let's say we are good for this one, and we are happy with the shape. So now what I will do, I will make a last easy E, sorry, and S directly, and then I will make a face with F. Okay, good. So now we have our first geometry that is available now. We can have a look into Solid View, just to verify that everything is matching well. Let's say we are happy with that shape, and now we would like to make the second part of the head here, so the low part of the head. So this one, it's in place. We just have for now the basic shapes, and after we will add details into our shapes. So first of all, I will rename here to be the head. Good. And the next one here, I will add another sphere like this. So another sphere with Shift A, UV sphere, exactly the same, and I will go into Edit mode and make a scale. And again in transparency mode with the wireframe mode here with GZ and S and G, I will try to match exactly the same shape. So what I will do it a little more like this, and with S Shift Z I will can have the right shape. As you can see, just verify into side view if you have something correct, and it seems not that bad here. Maybe just a little GY to match it well. Perfect. Then deselect everything. With B you can select the top of it and remove the vertices like this, and you have this shape here. Now what you can do to make a kind of little curve here that appear into the reference, not that much, but just to can separate well the object. What you can do to close this part is make a ES few times. Okay, then an F, and then take back the exterior loop here, and with Ctrl B you can add a little bevel just like that, and it will be enough to match the shape. Good. So now we have our two objects there. This one will be head low. It will be the low part of the head. Good. So we have head low, and we would like now to add the neck. So the neck, it's quite simple. It's just a cylinder shape, so nothing crazy. We will just add here a cylinder. Keep the options as it is, and just manage here maybe the depth of it, the radius of it, sorry. So to have something thinner like that. And we can just go now in edit mode and match the shape as much as possible. So with GZ, I will just come here and scale it down to have the right radius here. Okay, then I can see that it's a little too big, so I will make SZ to match the shape as much as possible. And then I will go there into side view, and you can see that here there is a little rotation to make, so I will make a rotation like that, and a G, and an R, and a G. Okay, it's not a problem if it's inside and if it's if it goes inside the other object. It's just to match the shape for now. So this one will be the neck. Good. So let's go and continue here. I would like to make the body now of the robot, and this one will be a little more complicated, but not that complicated. We will try to make it as much as simple as possible. So to make this part here, we will need just a plane to start, and just to have some vertices somewhere, because anyway we will change everything. So we will add a cube, for example. Whatever we add, we will use only one vertex. So I will just go there and start with one vertex. So I will just select this vertex and Ctrl Y and remove the other vertices, and like this I have only one vertex to start. Good. So I will go in front view, and just to be sure that it will be in the corner here, I will put it there. Then I will go inside view and have a look here where it is. So it's here. So with GY, I will put it in the corner here. And the first shape I would like to match here, it's this one, like this curve there, okay? And then after I will extrude and manage this shape here. So let's go for that. And with simple extrusion, so I will make just E and move, and E and move. The goal of this is to have the same distance between each extrusion if you can, to have something with regularity and nice shape. So try to not make too much extrusion there. For me here, I have here 12 vertices until I go from here to there. Okay, good. Now I can just continue my extrusions and continue and try to make the nice shape around with still as much as regularity as possible. Good. So we continue this process and just make the shape and this nice curve well in place. So it can be a little time consuming to do this, and modeling is time consuming, especially when you start, so don't worry about that. But to have good results, you have to take some time. And now you can make F to create the edge between the two last vertices. So now if I select everything, I have the nice shape here. To be sure that I have the same distance between all the vertices here, I will just select here the loop until here, and I will make a right click and I will go to loop tools and I will select space, and like this I'm sure I have all along the same distance, and from here to there too I will select this one and loop tool space again, and like this I have something with as much as regularity as possible. So now in front view we can see that it doesn't match at all. First of all, we can see that the top here should be there, and this, it's not really our fault. We didn't make any mistake. It's just an image reference that is not that much really accurate, let's say. So we will try to do something that will be kind of median point between this and this. Okay, so what we will do now, we will just select here the proportional editing and enable it, and we will just select here the sharp value there. Good. Then we will select the 3 vertices on the top and go there, and with G and proportional editing enable, we will create the nice curve that we want here. Even I think only the top one can work well, okay? So we'll make this nice curve, and with enough, yeah, we will try to match this as much as possible. So let's say something like that first, even if after we have to come back on the last one here with a G and less, less influence, let's say. Good. So we have more or less at least the loop in front like that has to match as much as possible the shape here. Maybe we could just select this one here, and with smooth here interpolation, a big one, we can just match it a little more. Same for this one here. Okay, good. Now we would like to have this shape around there. So this one, the back here, vertex, we will use here the sharp, and in front view again, we will make a GX to have this kind of shape like this. Okay, good one. And then we can just again change the interpolation to smooth and manage the center of the curve like this. So now we have something that match as much as possible the shape. This one has to be a little more here. Nice. Maybe this one on the top to match a little more the side view here. Yeah, you can see that now the side view doesn't match perfectly, but as we will go further, we will see that it will not disturb us. So let's go ahead, and now we have an entire loop to extrude until the middle, but we would like a mirror modifier first, because we would like to not make 2 times the same thing. So we will have like that the mirror shape there, and we will just extrude this part into the x-axis. And as we did enable here the clipping option into the mirror, okay, I will go in solid view to show that, we can just make a GX, and we are sure, without the proportional editing, and we are sure that it will stop in the middle. Exactly what we want. Perfect. So now I will manage the height of this loop there into wireframe view. So I will just make a scale and a GZ to match as much as possible again the shape of the original drawing. Okay, and here we have something not that bad. With just S and GZ we have something not that bad. I will just have a look there, and it looks quite good. Just maybe a SY to match it well. Nice. So now we have something good here, but we would like to have this kind of curvy shape that we have into the original drawing. So maybe 2 or 3 loops will be necessary to add this curvy shape there. So let's say we'll add 3 loops here, and let's add the 3 loops first with Ctrl R. Good. So we will add 3 loops here. Perfect. And now we have enough geometry to create these nice curvy shapes there. And what we will do, we'll just select the top here, the top of, yeah, this part. I think it should be enough. And we will enable here the proportional editing, and with GZ, I think we could make a shape like this very easily. Good. And now we have the nice shape of our body. We still need to add little things here, like for example here we have this shape that is interesting to manage, and we have this here, this shape that is interesting. So let's have a look into side view to have a look a little more into the reference image. So yeah, we have a little hole here to manage, and we have a little hole at that place too, and we have to close the gap that is here now, close the hole, the big hole there. Okay, so to close this in the good way, just verify that you have here an even number. so it should be 38 if you followed what I did. And if you have an even number, you will not have problem to manage it with quad. So first of all, let's select this part here, and with Ctrl Y, we will just H and hide the other parts as well. Like this, we are sure that we can manage only this part. And I don't want here my reference image for just a time. I just want to focus on my geometry just for a time. And I will just select here these vertices from here to there with C, for example, just an example of selection. And now what I can do is just an extrusion into the Z-axis and a scale. A little extrusion like that, without the proportional editing for now. And now we can see that we have the possibility to close this gap here and close this gap here. Good. And it will be exactly the process that we will use during all the closing part here. So we will just select again these vertices, make an extrusion. So we can say that it will be in front of this one and that one, it's good. Again, another extrusion, maybe a little rotation if needed, and a scale if needed to. And again, another extrusion. And just after you come here and you make a F a few times. It's not really a problem for now if you have a strange geometry on these parts, and we will manage this in the end. For now, our goal is just to close the gap here. And we will just continue there, and there again, and there again. So just verify that you are in front of the next vertices here, okay, more or less. It's not really important if it's not really something with a very good regularity, let's say, there. And then at a moment you will have the same number here on the top and here on the bottom. Maybe a last extrusion, I think. We will have a look on that. Let's come back here. Okay, so it's from that one to that one. Good. From that one to that one, if it wants. It will want. Okay, good. And into the side view, I will just extrude another time. And scale it down. And let's see what we have now. We have 14 vertices, and from here to there we have less than that. Okay, so maybe we can just stop here and have a look if it can close just directly like this. So let's just remove these vertices. It was too much, this one. Okay, why I have a double here? I have double vertices somewhere. I will select everything, and with Alt M, with right click, sorry, I will go there and match vertices by distance in case I had 8 vertices that did cause me a problem. So let's have a look if it goes well for close the entire geometry now, and we can see that it's not that bad. And we did close everything just with quads now. Good. But it's not beautiful at all. And it's a big mess now. And to manage this big mess, let's say, and to close everything well, we will just select here the entire vertices, so all the vertices with A, then with Alt Shift, we will just remove from the selection the outside of the mesh, and we will keep only the inside. And now with a right click and smooth vertices a few times, so we will just repeat it, just like that. And it will smooth everything well. And as you can see now, we have something totally smooth with a nice smooth surface. Perfect. So we did close this geometry. Now we can make an Alt H and put back our geometry, original geometry, in here in the 3D view. Good one. So now we would like to finish the body by making this shape here. So let's continue that. And enable here the references again, like this, into wireframe mode. I can see what I have there. So I would like to make this little hole that I have all around this here in front view. So what I can do to manage this, it's to match as much as possible what I have there. And to do this, I would just select there's two vertices here, and I will make SZ0 to be sure that everything is totally straight. Okay, and now I would like, just with the slide vertex, I will go there into wireframe view, and I will slide my vertices until the corner of this. So with G 2 times, I can move my geometry like that. Okay, good. So now I should have something like this. And I will make the same with the 2 vertices here. Okay, so this one and this one, I will make a GG again. Like this, I can have the size of my geometry that I want. This geometry is there. So again, with GG, a little higher maybe, or with GZ. Okay, and have a look into side view if it goes well with the geometry, original geometry we have, and we will make more or less the same. So we don't have the back side, but we can imagine a little how it will be. So we will just make a SZ to be sure that it's totally straight for this 2 here, and an SX0 to be sure that it will be totally straight here too. And then now we can make just a GG to be sure that we will match as much as possible the geometry. And again, with GG like this, we can have something a little better there. Good. So maybe inside view, just try to match as much the curve as possible. And now we have the geometry that we need to create this gap here. So to make this well, we would like to have this loop until here, okay, and make a GG again to be sure that it will be straight all along, like that, okay, and now we have something good. So what we will do now, GG again for that one to have something straight there. What we will do now, we will just remove these vertices from here to there, and remove this, just like this, remove the vertices. Now we have the gap, and we would like to close this gap with a new geometry. So I will take from these vertices to these vertices with the Control key, and I will just make an EZ like this. Like this I create the beginning of here, the inside, and I will just close this geometry with F there, and make the same here with F. Good. And now starting here, I can reselect from here to there and make a EX. And as you can see now, it goes directly with the mirror in the middle, and I can just close the last face here. And I close the face, and I close the face again. And as you can see, we have the same result than the reference image now. Perfect. So we would like to do something a little similar to the top here. So what we have, we go into the wireframe mode, and we see that this place is totally straight. So let's select all this part here, from here to there, and with SX0, we will make it totally straight. Then with GG, we will put it in the right place here. Okay, so we have already something not that bad. Now I would like to manage this part, so I will select with B this part and make it straight too, and I will just make SZ0, and like this I'm sure it's totally flat, and I will have this kind of shape now. If I come back in solid view, I will have this shape here and this shape there. Okay, so maybe we could It's not mandatory, not make it until there, but make it until there. It will be enough. So maybe there's two vertices we don't want them to move, so I will just make a Ctrl-Z and remove them from the selection with B and middle click, and I will make a SZ0. Okay, and now I have the right geometry to manage. Good. So let's say we would like to remove on the back. It really depends on what you want, but maybe until there, and SZ0 for that one, okay, to be sure that it will be totally flat. And then after, you will just have to select all these vertices here, all these faces here, sorry, until this one, so we took until that one, okay, and we will make an extrude and keep it into the same place with the right click and an Alt S, and it will go on inside like so, okay, and we will have the same geometry more or less, maybe a little Alt S again to match as much the reference image as possible, and now we have the right geometry. Good. So now we have what we want more or less. The global shape of this object is done, so we can call it body, and it will be our body shape. Good. So we have 4 objects to start this modeling here. What you can do if you want to see a little more the shadows and things like that, you can just go there and enable the cavity here. So with the type screen or world, depend what you want. If the screen shows you too much a little the edges, you can just go there and remove a little the ridge here, okay, and like this, and increase a little the valleys, and like that. And if you put it into the world option, maybe it will work well for see the values well like this, okay? So can be something interesting sometimes, not totally mandatory, but can be interesting, okay? So now we have the beginning of our robot that is here. I will save you this file, and like this you can see how it will work during all the modeling process. And into the next video, we will have a look on how to model all the arm part here.